People often ask me, what is the difference between Old World wines and New World wines? I'm Nathan Dale, wine expert with ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
And I'm Paul Quaglini, also a wine expert with ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
And today we are going to talk about the difference between Old World and New World wines.
At its most basic, Old World versus New World is a geographic term. Wines from the Old World, for the most part, are from Europe, part of the Middle East, maybe some of the Balkans. Georgia, certainly, I think you would call an Old World wine country. New World would be the whole rest of the globe.
Why is there a differentiation between Old World and New World? And it really boils down to the Old World has thousands of years of winemaking practices and heritage, whereas the New World, the winemaking's only been around for a couple hundred years. All of those grape varietals, so Cabernet, Merlot, Chardonnay, the things that you're comfortable with, the things we talk about all the time, were brought from Europe to the rest of the planet.
If we break it down a little further, there's really a difference in winemaking technique, the style of the wine, and the labeling of the wine. Old World wines are almost always labeled with a geographic place. Francois Martineau Mercury is Pinot Noir, but the only way you would know that is to know that the village of Mercury, which is in the Burgundy region of France, the only allowable red grape in that village is Pinot Noir. They just assume you're going to know.
In the New World, they will tell you what's in the bottle most often. You will see Cabernet, Merlot, Chardonnay printed right on the front of the label.
For example, Jackie Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir boldly states right on the label that this wine is made from Pinot Noir, it's from the Sonoma Coast. It's pretty easy for us to understand that this is a New World Pinot Noir.
If you want more information on this topic, check out our video on how to read a wine label. Are there differences in the winemaking process between the Old World and New World? Before I answer that question, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell.
In the Old World, everything is very strictly regulated. From the time vines go into the ground, the amount of spacing between the vines, whether you can irrigate the vines, the type of trellising that you might use, everything is written into law. Once you get the grapes into the winery, the amount of oak aging, the amount of aging period, the type of fermentation vessels, everything is very strictly regulated. The New World has a much more open, free kind of spirit, I think, in the winery, and they can create wines in a different style. It's not to say one is better than another. They're both very good. A final difference between Old and New World wines would be in the taste or the flavor profile. Typically, European wine growing regions are a bit cooler than their New World counterparts. So the wines tend to have a little lower alcohol, a little higher acidity, a little gentler, let's say, not as bright and bold as New World wines.
All of this information boils down to the fact that they might be the same grapes, but since they're grown in different locations, they taste entirely different. And once you factor in the winemaking practices and the farming practices being different, it really starts to separate a lot, even though it's the same fruit.
So now that you know a little more about the differences between Old World and New World wines, come and visit one of our stores and shop our selection of both Old and New World wines, and check us out at abcfws.com. And check out our other videos.